Hello, my name is Lily. I'm messaging you to ask if you could look into the disappearance of one of my friends. His name is Michael, but goes by Archangel on Minecraft. We know each other from school, but it's been a few weeks since I've last seen him. Usually we get on the server and play for the rest of the day as soon as we get home, but as I said, he hasn't been on for 3 weeks at least. I'm just getting pretty worried and thought you might be able to help. All I have of his is this old doc that he sent me with all the server information on it. I'm sorry if this is too much, but I really need the help right now.
This is a message I received a few days ago from a Chronic Nightjar 6. At first I thought this was just another fake story made and sent to me for fun. After all, I receive dozens of messages a day detailing similar events. And even if this story was true, there are infinite reasons that Michael could have missed school. He could have been sick, out on vacation, or many other reasons. But after doing some digging, I found it to be a whole lot more than just some story. Secret malware planted and left undetected, real-life police calls, and the disappearance of a young boy named Michael Massarelli. Our investigation starts out with evaluating our evidence, the Google Doc. When opening it, we're met with a single page, showing the server IP and a list of rules. The rules seem pretty standard, listing things like no harassing other players, no griefing, no cheating or exploits. Rules very typical of a Minecraft server. However, these rules already hint at something that Lily seems to have left out in their initial message. It seems that, based off of these rules, there were at some point other players on the server. For example, one of the rules, do not impersonate. It seems reasonable enough, but this implies that there would be more than 2 players a part of the server at any given time. For instance, if a player 1 killed player 2's pet wolf, they wouldn't be able to simply blame it on player 2, as player 2 would know themselves that they didn't do it, so it had to be player 1 that was responsible. Additionally, outside of this particular example, it seems odd to have a list of server rules for a server containing just 2 people. No, it would seem much more reasonable to simply sit down with each other and talk about what they are okay with and not okay with happening on the server. So because of this, it's safe to conclude that there were more players than just Michael and Lily a part of the server. Now, as to why they weren't mentioned in Lily's initial message is impossible to say. What is certain, however, is that there's already more than initially meets the eye here. This is further shown in another rule left in the doc, which to me, outside of the do not impersonate rule, is really the only one that necessarily sticks out to me. Do not use players' real names. Now, this is a rule that's particularly interesting to me. The rule itself is fair enough. After all, you don't want your personal information going around to people that you might not necessarily want to have it. However, not only does this further cement the idea that there are more players than just Lily and Michael a part of the server, but it also suggests that these players didn't know Michael or Lily personally, or at the very least didn't know them in real life, as Michael and Lily did with each other. So now that we know that there are more players than just Michael and Lily involved in this mystery, one question still persists. Was this Michael's server at all? I mean, Lily did say that it was Michael who sent her the doc, however, she at no point said that it was Michael's server. So then, if not Michael's, then whose server was it exactly? Logging onto the server, we're met with a few things immediately. First off, no one seemed to be online, so I was left to freely investigate on the server. Additionally, there were no signs that there had ever been any players in the surrounding area. No broken trees, destroyed dirt, random items, placed crafting tables, nothing. However, I did find one thing that seemed odd. Nearby spawn there was a lava pool, which by itself doesn't seem weird at all, except for the fact that the lava was just now burning a nearby tree. And if there were players here at some point, then the tree should have already been completely engulfed in flames. So at first I thought maybe I had logged onto the wrong server. After all, it seemed completely new and untouched. However, after doing some more exploring, I found that to not be the case. What I came across was a relatively large house, made almost entirely out of oak and dark oak wood. Quite an ugly combination in my opinion, but nevertheless, we finally found some evidence of players existing on the server. Inside the house was almost completely empty. All that furnished the first room was lanterns hanging from slabs. Additionally, skeletons and spiders are heard underneath the house, suggesting that there's possibly another floor or a basement. So that's exactly where I went, mining a nearby tree, making a wooden axe, and deciding to break through the foundation of the house. But what I was met with, I never could have predicted. There are no mobs, But I was just here and I just heard multiple skeletons and spiders underneath the floorboards. And what's even weirder is the random black staircase placed right in the middle of the room. After making my way down the stairs, I met with a long hallway and some sort of void, but this shouldn't be possible. After all, there's no way to break bedrock in normal Minecraft without using cheats or exploits. And as far as we know, this is a completely vanilla survival-based server. So how was this even made? Who would go through all the trouble to do all of this? And why? After a few minutes of walking, I finally arrive at what seems like the end of the tunnel. But as I approach closer, something strange happens. A room? A room with a goat horn possessing a unique name on each wall. One saying hate, another saying sorrow, and the last saying regret. But what could this mean? Is this indicating towards some sort of history to do with the world and the players on it? Right now we don't know, but it's clear what we're presented with here. This seems to be some sort of puzzle. A puzzle only solved by blowing the correct horn. But right now we have no context and no clues as to what the correct horn might be, nor the consequences for blowing the wrong one. So what are we to do? Well, we're actually given another clue here. You see, after renaming a goat horn in Minecraft, the type of horn it is still remains. In Minecraft, there are 8 different distinct goat horns, each with their own name and sound. And if we hover over the named goat horns that we've been given, we can actually still see the type of horn that it is. The hate horn being ponder, the sorrow horn being seek, and the regret horn being seen. So what does this mean exactly? Is it supposed to be some sort of compound phrase, saying something like ponder on your hate or seek sorrow? I mean, maybe, but that still doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So the most likely option here is that we're still not being given enough context. Regardless, I'm sure that the horror names will come back up later. For now, let's just... Wait. Who was that? I thought the server had been abandoned, but it seems that's not the case.
Hello?
Hey,
Who are you?
it's Lily.
Oh, okay. Thought you were someone else.
Who?
I don't know, I just wasn't expecting someone to join.
Where are you?
I'm in the hallway thing underneath the base.
What base?
The oak and dark oak one across the river.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Here, I'll send you my cords and meet you outside.
Okay.
While it was definitely a shock to see Lily join the server again, I was actually quite thankful. This gives me a new opportunity to learn more about the server and question her about some of the things that I found. So I made my way back down the hallway again and up the stairs, out from underneath the house, and met Lily in the front yard of the base.
Hi.
What's up?
I've never seen this place before.
Really? It's right next to spawn.
This isn't your spawn.
What? I spawned like 250, 300 blocks away.
No, spawn is like really far away. I don't know why you spawned here.
Weird.
Here, I'll take you to the actual spawn. We have a whole thing set up.
Okay.
So I followed Lily for a while. We didn't really talk much on the way, but eventually we came upon this.
Holy. place is insane.
Thanks. You don't want to know how long we spent building it.
Yeah, looks like you spent a long time on it.
We wanted new players on the server to feel welcome, so we made sure to spend a while on this.
That's smart. This is really nice.
Anyways, are you here for Angel?
Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking into everything right now. There's some weird stuff on the server for sure.
Like what?
Well, like I said earlier, I didn't spawn here. I spawned somewhere else. But someone had clearly been there, because there was a house, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I really don't think there's anything that crazy going on.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, I'm gonna head off. I got some more stuff to do.
Something's wrong. This doesn't seem like Lily at all. For one, their gamer tag is completely different than their Discord ID, which isn't inherently suspicious by itself, but they also referred to Michael as Angel, when Lily and I have only been referring to him as, well, Michael thus far. She could have just been following the server's rules, but it seems a bit late for that. And no one else was online at the time that Lily and I were having this conversation, which makes me think that Angel is what they know him as in Archangel, his gamer tag, not Michael. So it seems in this case, if this isn't Lily, then the server's rules did hold true, and Michael's real name hadn't been leaked to this player until I did it myself. Regardless, what stuck out to me the most was her last comment about how there didn't seem to be anything weird about the server, which makes no sense to me as Lily herself was the one that sent me on this journey. So it doesn't make any sense for her to not think it had anything to do with the server, or she wouldn't have pointed me in this direction, which hints at something disturbing. If this isn't Lily, then how did they know that I would be on the server looking for information about Michael? Does this mean that they could possibly be behind his disappearance? So, if not Lily, then who is this player? They clearly knew their way around a little bit. I mean, they brought me all the way to spawn, which is another thing. Why was it exactly that I didn't spawn where Lunara said spawn was? And was she being honest when she said that she'd never been to the wooden building? I mean, for all we know, she was the one that made the goat horn puzzle beneath its foundations. That entire chamber could have been built by her, and she's just feigning ignorance to save face. Though right now, acknowledging its creation doesn't seem to have any sort of significance on our investigation. If she's implied to be a part of whatever possibly happened within that house or in the catacombs, then it wouldn't make sense for her to play it safe and just pretend she had nothing to do with it. Anyways, that's a lot of theories and conspiracies, but we haven't gotten anything actually solid. No, that's what comes next, because right before I left the game, on the far left corner, I just barely see the edges of an item frame. Now, it could just be nothing, but theoretically, there's something attached to it. Something that might have to do with the story of the server, with the disappearance of Michael. So not wanting Lunara to see it or her to know that I saw it myself, I decided to play it safe and log off, sitting and refreshing my game until she did as well. And eventually, she did. Logging back onto the server, I immediately go to look in the corner, where I find that I was right and there was something in the item frame. A book. A book titled For Steven, and written by an Uncharted 24. Now, this adds 2 more known players to the server's history, making it 5 in total so far, assuming that Lunara isn't Lily. Opening the book, we're presented with a message.
Hey Steven, I'm leaving this for you because I know you're the only person that comes here anymore. I wanted to tell you that I found the drive that you're looking for. I haven't had the time to go through all of it yet, but it was an ARC space at negative 2,213.12.435. So it has to be what you were looking for. Anyways, I hope you find this. I can't stay on the server anymore. It's gotten too dangerous. Good luck, Kyle.
And there on the last page, a Google Drive link, which when opened shows us this. a Google Drive titled Help Me, and within it are 2 videos, the first of which named mysteriously as It's Him. And after opening this first video, things seem to be surprisingly calm.
Yo. Amelia.
What? Michael just referred to Lunara as Amelia, proving my theory that the person that we talked to earlier isn't Lily. But what reason would they have to lie? I don't know, but the deeper that we get into this mystery, the more unnerving this gets.
Michael!
Holy crap, you've built so much since we've been off. Chronic was talking about how you were working on it at school.
Yeah, I've been up all night.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Thanks.
Still gotta do the inside.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. We will have time. Anyways, remember how we were talking about that trip the other day?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, we could probably do it soon. My mom just gave me some extra money, so if you want to pick me up soon, we could go.
That would be great.
Awesome. It's crazy how we just met through the server, and now we're like best friends.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Chronic was making fun of me earlier, talking about how like, oh, you and Amelia are always with each other.
Aw.
Yeah. Anyways, if you want to pick me up, like sometime next week, we can figure it out. I live at...
And that's where the video ends. So it seems that for some reason, Michael and Amelia had been planning some sort of trip together. And based off the lack of mention of it in Lily's DM to me, I can only assume that she had no knowledge of it whatsoever. Now, obviously this all seems super sketch, and I'm thinking the exact same thing, but for all we know, this trip never happened. So hopefully the next video will give us some more insight.
Hey, where are we going? Can I get a torch?
Yeah.
Where the hell even are we?
It seems that Michael is being brought somewhere by Amelia. Now, as to where they are, Michael seems to have no idea, and neither do I. I've never seen a place like this before at all. It's definitely not naturally generated, but why would someone go through the trouble of building all of this? Hundreds of thousands of stone bricks placed very intentionally in a very specific pattern. It doesn't make any sense. And why is it that Amelia won't answer Michael when he asks where they are, or where they're going to?
We're almost there.
How did you even get here? I just spawned in here.
I'll show you. Just a few more minutes.
Why are you acting so weird, Amelia? You're being so vague. What?
Nothing.
What the hell is wrong with you today? I log on the server and you're just acting so weird.
I'm sorry.
Okay, whatever. This place is so creepy. Reminds me of a graveyard.
Me too.
What is that? Amelia? Amelia, what is this place? Amelia, what is this?
I'm sorry, Angel.
Sorry for what?
What I'm about to do.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
What are you about to do?
Okay, what the hell? The second video ends the same way that the first did, with the footage being seemingly corrupted. But once again, we're left with little aside from Amelia being ominous and creepy. And at this point, there's nothing left in the drive, so what are we to do? Well, we still have two things. The goat horn puzzle from before that we might have some more insight on now, and the coordinates in the book that Uncharted left for Steven. So I started heading towards the courts. And when I got there, I was met with a tunnel. A tunnel that when taken went straight down to what I could only assume was Michael's secret base. But what I found seemed off. There was almost nothing at all. Just a room made out of stone bricks, some cobwebs here and there, and a bed. It seems like someone's already been here and completely ransacked the place. Maybe it was Amelia. So now the only thing I had left was the goat horn puzzle. So I made my way back to the house and underneath the foundation, down the stairs, through the hallway, and back to the door. Except this time around, there was no stay door on the other side. Did Amelia get to the doors before I logged off? I mean, maybe, but why? She had to be hiding something, or directing us. Regardless, the leave door and the room inside was seemingly left untouched. Whoever had been here had wanted it to stay. Now we're left with the puzzle itself. So, as I said before, we were given 3 horns, each with a name: hate, sorrow, and regret. Now, based off of our investigation so far, as well as the fact that the stay door is now gone, it's safe to say that the catacombs had been built by Amelia. So, the puzzle must revolve around her in some way. And because some of the things that she'd said in the footage that we found between her and Michael, it seems that we're left with 2 reasonable options: sorrow and regret. Both of these emotions have been expressed to Michael from Amelia in the last video. However, regret indicates that you wish you hadn't done something. And because Amelia was apologizing for what she was about to do, I don't believe regret to be the answer here. So we're left with the sorrow horn, which answers the puzzle for us, but nothing could have prepared me for what I was going to find. A book with 65 pages of I'm sorry. Page after page after page until on page 66, we're given a drive link. And after opening this drive link, I'm given the most horrifying thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Something I never could have predicted. Within the drive, which was also named I'm So Sorry, was a PDF. And after opening it, it's a missing persons report talking about Michael. But oh my god, is that just the tip of the iceberg. On the very first page, after the case number and the case open sections, we see that the case is still active and the subject isn't Michael, but an Elijah R. But who the hell is Elijah? It's Amelia. Amelia was an alias. There never really was an Amelia. It was just Elijah pretending to be her. And right under this, we're presented with 2 photos. A photo of Michael and a photo of Elijah. So after going through the document, we're shown a few things. Number 1 is this case overview. According to available statements, Michael M. identified and played by the gamertag Archangel_, which we did know before. He had been in regular online contact through Minecraft with an individual he believed to be a girl identifying herself as Amelia. Subsequent review associated that contact with Elijah R. So I guess the police somehow found out that Amelia was Elijah, who reportedly used the gamertag Lunaro43 during those interactions. The contact appears to have developed gradually over repeated game sessions, and during that period, Michael M. is believed to have shared limited personal information, including where he lived. Investigators are reviewing claims that unauthorized software may have been placed on Michael's computer without his knowledge, and then a few days later, Michael M. was reported missing. The next section talks about the reported contact timeline. So the first part was initial contact. Michael M. and the account later linked to Elijah R. reportedly met through Minecraft sessions. Next, we find out that Elijah presented himself to Micah as a girl using the name Amelia. Someone had found out that Amelia wasn't Amelia and was Elijah, who in this case is likely Steven, who for all we know could have made the police report himself. And then Michael later shared limited personal details, including where he lived. Then it goes back to talking about the device. Reports under review allege that unauthorized software may have been placed on Michael's computer while he was away from it, and later he was reported missing. The rest of the doc is just logs and more information about the actual missing persons report, but it seems as the case is still active, we don't know what's happened. Elijah R. is still out there. Recently, I received an email from a Maria Archives. The email listed some instructions for me.
This is an automated message. Do not reply. Scheduled delivery date, June 9th, 2026. The embargo on archive set
Maria
has been lifted. You have been designated as a public observer for controlled release. Present the materials as provided. Do not alter the order. Subject
Maria Collins
participated in a series of environmental boundary experiments. The attached files are recorded results. Some continuity errors are expected. Begin with folder 1. Further instructions will follow once viewing begins.
Initially, I was unsure what to make of the email. Was this sent to me by mistake? I mean, there were already some errors, like the email being sent 4 months ahead of schedule. Regardless, I decided to take a look at the folder. The folder contains 5 videos, and upon viewing the first one, footage 1, we're presented with what seems to be an ordinary Minecraft world. The video starts off with a player named Tozers explaining how they made this Minecraft world with their friend, and that their friend said that they should record themselves playing on the server. Now, based off of the email, I'm forced to assume that this player is Maria Collins. Now, as to what her significance is yet to be decided. For now, just watch as she shows off her house as well as her own little bedroom. And then another player joins the server. Maria is quick to explain that this is her friend and goes down to meet him at the pathway between their houses. Maria explains to Noah that she's doing her first recording on the server. Noah then responded with saying that he is also recording. So this got me thinking, why was it exactly that Maria was the only one whose documents were being archived? And furthermore, why was it being withheld at all? But to find out those answers, we must continue to watch Maria's perspective, where the conversation turns to something else. Maria asks Noah to share his recording with her after they're all done today, which Noah then says, not yet, we gotta do everything first. And weirdly enough, Maria simply acknowledges. Now what they could be referring to, we still have no idea of, but they wrap up their conversation with Noah saying that he was going to go get some glowstone, which he seems to do as he walks off into the nether portal, marking the last time that we surely see Noah from Maria's perspective. Maria, back inside the confines of her own home, goes AFK for a bit, leaving a message for Noah simply saying, "Mom's calling, I'll be right back." But as night turns to day, something strange happens. Maria is disconnected by something called player state. Could this be Noah messing with her somehow? It seems unlikely, but furthermore, the kick message she sees isn't normal. You see, typically when a player is removed from the server in Minecraft, the message shown is kicked by operator. But here it says player state, which doesn't exist. So why? Well, we're soon to find out as Maria logs back onto the server to see that Noah isn't back yet. And after prompting him to respond multiple times in the chat and still receiving no response, Maria scours the island, inevitably going to the top of the lighthouse to get a vantage point, but still when finding nothing, Maria makes a decision to go into the nether portal. And this is where footage 1 ends. But picking back up on footage 2, we're taken to what seems to be immediately after Maria's journey through the nether portal, as we can still hear the sound playing in the background, except where Maria is now doesn't seem to be the nether at all. No, it looks far different.
Noah? Where the hell am I? Noah, are you here? Noah, I'm getting off. I'll be on tomorrow. My mom needs me, and this is freaking me out a little.
And this is where footage 2 ends. We're left not exactly sure what to think about what's going on in the world. Usually by this point we'd be given some clues at least, something to solve, to decipher in order to reach some sort of conclusion on what's exactly going on here. But as far as this footage goes, there's absolutely nothing. Now, the next video in the folder is a different story. The third video in the folder, titled "Where Am I?" starts us back in the shoes of Maria as we watch her navigate her way. Wait. For less than a second on the far right corner, we're able to see what seems to be at first some sort of screen tear, but upon closer inspection, that's not what it is at all. You see, a screen tear usually limits itself to a certain section of the screen. However, this screen tear, as it first seemed to be, moves with Maria. So what are we looking at exactly? Some sort of glitch within the game itself? Or is it something more sinister than that? Maybe it's something watching our protagonist from beyond the darkness. Regardless, Maria doesn't seem to notice it and simply continues to ask Noah if he's on the server today, which after opening the tab list, he does seem to be. After once again receiving no response, Maria continues through the library for quite a while. That is until this happens. Complete fear takes over as Maria realizes that every sound that she makes, every footstep, every torch placed, is playing twice, which continues until Maria strays further and further into the library, as if she's being guided somewhere. Our protagonist then runs into the issue of running out of torches, as being blind in a place like this can be damning. Thankfully, they do have some wood and cobblestone on them to make a furnace and smelt charcoal, temporarily fixing their torch issue. Eventually, however, Maria yet again runs into the same problem, where she is then forced to move a single torch over and over. Suddenly, Maria seems to be in a completely new environment. No sign of the seemingly endless astral library anywhere in sight. In front of her are 3 doors. The left encrusted with skulks saying trust above it. The middle encased in chiseled bookshelves and empty lecterns with a sign saying love. And the last on the right being clad in golden blocks and blackstone saying greed. However, upon opening each of the doors, they have very different outcomes. The left and center door have portal blocks behind them. However, the greed door has nothing behind it. Now, as to why this is currently unknown. And our protagonist doesn't seem to have a much better idea either, which she exclaims in chat either to us or to Noah. But after taking a closer look at the bookshelves around the room, Maria finds something interesting. Maria finds a book, and not just any book, but the Book of Orpheus and Eurydice, an ancient Greek myth relating to love and sorrow. Maria seems to be familiar with the text, also correctly identifying it as a Greek myth. She exclaims that she doesn't know what it has to do with where the hell she's at, but she opens the book and retells their story. Orpheus and Eurydice. Orpheus was a musician whose songs could calm storms and move stone. He loved Eurydice. On their wedding day, Eurydice fled a threat and was bitten by a serpent, where she died. Orpheus refused to accept it. He descended into the underworld. Before Hades and Persephone, he played a song so mournful that even the dead fell silent. So they offered him a bargain. Eurydice may follow him out, but Orpheus must walk ahead, and he must not look back until they both reach the surface. Near the exit, he turned. For one moment, he saw her. Then Eurydice was pulled away into the darkness, where Orpheus was left alone. What Maria concludes from the story and its placement within the library is that Orpheus made his decision because he didn't trust Hades to fulfill his side of the bargain. So last second, he looked back.
I'm not even really sure how you could get greed out of that. So, do I go through the trust door?
And yet again, that's where the footage ends. It seems that Maria, after reading the story and making a conclusion about why Orpheus turned back, took one last look around the room and went through the door of trust. But this does still leave a couple of questions. Like, why was there no portal behind the door of greed? And was Noah in the same room as Maria at some point? Well, as far as the portal, I believe we got our answer with the last few frames of the video. As Maria goes through the portal, just at the very end, we hear a sound. This is the sound that plays whenever a portal block is broken, which makes it safe to conclude that the portal breaks after someone uses it. So who was it that used the greed portal? Was it Noah? And if so, is he going to the same place that Maria is? Well, in our next video, we may find the answers that we're looking for. The video starts out with Maria in yet another strange dimension, this time looking much more ominous than before, as Maria herself is quick to state.
This place is so creepy, dude.
She seems to be in some sort of infinite world consisting of large slabs of stone, with her only way to progress requiring her to sometimes jump incredibly large gaps, making the situation incredibly dangerous. All it would require is one slip up, and into the void she would go.
Well, that was close.
Maria continues to travel for a few more minutes, hopping from structure to structure, a few times just barely making the jump. And eventually, she comes across something strange. Maria looks up in awe at what appears to be a multi-branching staircase that leads to, well, we don't know. However, I expect that we'll soon find out, as without hesitation, Maria instantly starts building out towards the structure. Now, the exact reasoning as to why something like this could exist in this world to begin with is already lost to me. However, it's very clear that so far Maria has been somewhat led and directed here. Noah? For the very first time since getting lost in the nether portal, Noah's seen to type something into the chat, which Maria is quick to respond to, though yet again receiving no response herself. Now, this raises a couple of questions. Does this mean that Noah has been able to respond to Maria this entire time? If so, then why hasn't he? And if not, then what's been preventing him? Regardless, Maria continues to climb up the staircase, which doesn't exactly seem to be, well, flawlessly designed to say the least. It contorts in odd ways, only ever branching out or up, but rarely is it a complete staircase, causing Maria to have to build up and break blocks to even continue her journey upward. And furthermore, it only seems to get worse as she gets closer to the top, which after some time she eventually does do, as she's faced with this.
Noah? Is that you?
With this video coming to an end, Maria is seemingly reunited back with Noah, but only for a moment as he's seen leaving through a massive portal, almost as if he's trying to evade Maria. But why? What reason does Noah have to lead her all this way? Well, Maria's journey is soon to be at an end as we go into the final video in the drive. Starting out, we see Maria walking on some sort of path, with massive towers sprouting out to connect them all. They don't seem to be individually distinct, but... Wait, we aren't watching Maria? Then who? For some reason, we've switched to Noah's POV, but what's even stranger than that is that he's with Maria, and furthermore, they seem to be quite comfortable right now, almost as if they've been traveling together for some time now. Anyways, they continue their conversation with Maria questioning how long Noah has been here, and to that, Noah simply responds that he doesn't know, but it feels like it's been weeks, and to that, Maria says that it's only been a couple of days.
Are you sure? Yes, Noah. Okay.
Noah and Maria continued their journey forward, looking around in awe at the massive towering stone structures, path after path, bridge after bridge, and tower after tower, until...
Okay, I think we have to drop here. Just one level. Be careful. Hold on now. You stay here for a second.
Noah's been keeping notes on Maria this whole time? But how? He hasn't even been with her most of the time. None of this is really making sense so far. When did Maria meet back up with Noah? Why are they so friendly? And why is Noah taking notes of Maria? Noah then adds another entry to his journal, saying that the subject seems to be cooperative thus far, and I can only assume that he's referring to Maria.
Come on, Toes. Okay. So where did you go earlier anyways? What do you mean? After the library, remember? I followed you. That's not what happened. Maria, that's not what happened. How do you know my name?
And that's where the footage ends. This video opened up a lot of questions for us, so we're just gonna rapid fire go through all of them really quick. First off, as I had already questioned, why is it that Noah's taking notes of Maria? Is that how he found out her name? By stalking her? To be honest, I assume that he already knew, but I guess not. I suppose that would take us back to the very beginning, where she stated that Noah was the one that said that she should start recording her POV, but she never elaborated how or why they started talking. Was this some sort of plan that Noah had made in order to get to know Maria somehow for some malicious purpose? Maybe, maybe not, but what I do know is that Noah did leave something behind. You see, back when he was going through his notes on Maria, he left something something. A code. A code for whoever was supposed to watch this footage before me. You see, I'm assuming that because this footage was sent to me so early, it completely missed the vetting process, which explains why things like Noah's footage was still in the folder. Anyways, if we look back at the footage containing Noah's notes on Maria, we notice a clear pattern where each page is separated by 3 distinct parts. And if we take the first letter of each of those parts, we get this, which isn't anything by itself, but after deciphering it as if it was an alphabet cipher, this string of numbers comes out, which to me looks like an IP. And after trying it, it appears I was right. I had to move quick. I knew that if I was ever caught on the server, I would be banned and there would be no way of me ever finding out what happened to Maria or Noah for that matter. So the first thing that I did was I checked their houses. And after looking at Noah's, it appeared to be completely empty, which was weird because based off of Maria's house, they've been playing on the server for some time now. Anyways, I continued to look around Maria's house for a few minutes. I checked her room and the balcony, which appeared the same as it did in Maria's footage, except on the first floor, I found something interesting. Both of the back doors and what I can only assume to be an attempt at a basement door were all cut in half. As to why this is, I don't know, but it only got worse as I went outside, where a chest was sitting and inside of it, a compass, and not just any compass, but a lodestone compass, which was pointing directly away from the house. So I followed it, and eventually it led me to a village. I looked around the village for a few minutes, and looked, but nothing. I couldn't find anything. I mean, I didn't even know who left the compass in the chest. Maybe it was just supposed to lead to the village. Regardless, I did want to find the actual lodestone that it pointed to, so I kept looking. And after a few more minutes, the rapid change in the compass's direction led me to believe that the lodestone was probably underground. So I changed my focus from the houses to nearby hills and cave entrances. And I noticed that this hill in particular had the dirt sort of unnaturally placed against the wall. So of course, I tried to break it to see if there was anything behind it, and there was. The entrance opened up into what appeared to be a huge library, but as I take a look around, while it looks beautiful and definitely unique for sure, most of it seemed a little empty or cleared out. Well, everything except for a lectern right in the middle of the library. The lectern contained a book that said Maria Archives on it, with a new drive link. Upon opening the drive, we're faced with just one file, a single PDF, called the Parhelion Dossier, and upon opening it, what the hell? Infinite cryptid text, Parhelion Internal Dossier, Level 3 Eyes Only. What we were looking at is a massive document, bringing light to whatever this organization was and its intentions with Maria. I mean, she had an entire page dedicated with her. Page after page after page of information, tests, and trials. But right now, we're going to tackle the important parts of this document. So obviously, we weren't supposed to have access to this, and they made it pretty easy for us, giving us a full table of contents. And right off the bat, on the first page, it talks about astral domains. A subject declares an interpretation, often aloud, and the domain classifies the subject accordingly. And I believe we can see this through the first major puzzle with Orpheus and Eurydice, where Maria chose the door of truth based off of her interpretation of the story, which it even talks about here, Case Maria. Subject Maria Collins, handle Toaster, which they're actually wrong about. Subject Maria Collins entered Phase 4 through a portal misroute and encountered an archive chamber, presenting a tri-door classification event, referencing the 3 doors. Liaison, it's known as 0, which we'll get to in a minute, was used as a social stabilizer and later removed to induce threshold selection. Subject proceeded into deeper archive space, continuing degradation increased. Subject is currently assessed as integrated. Now, on this next part, they talk about the organization itself. Parhelion. And right here it talks about their goals, where it says internally Parhelion focuses on 3 capabilities: threshold engineering, locating and stabilizing exits that do not route to expected destinations; the continuity of science, measuring how cognition persists when the world contradicts itself, so essentially comprehending things that just shouldn't make sense; and record systems, capturing movement as artifacts the environment can replay. So I guess all those libraries were supposed to be different records of the dimensions. Maybe that's where Maria was initially, in that library dimension. Now moving on, it talks about the trials themselves: program brief astral navigation trials, or ANT. ANT is designed to answer a practical question: can a human navigate astral space without losing continuity? The second question is more important: what kinds of people remain intact and why? And I guess Maria was their first, or at least one of their testing experiments. And then it talks about all these different phases where it just essentially just gets worse and worse, until essentially at phase 6, where I was supposed to step in, but I came in early. Now we get into the interesting stuff. Recruitment and liaison protocols. Recruitment model. Parhelion recruits through ordinary contact chains, friend-to-friend introductions, collaboration offers, recording projects, and curiosity-driven invitations. So it seems pretty limited and hand-selected as to who can be a liaison, which, as referred to earlier, is what Noah was, and if we keep looking, it talks about what they exactly do. So liaison doctrine. Liaisons are trained to be normal. They must not appear sinister, authoritative, or over-informed. Primary duties: maintain rapport and keep the subject recording. Anchor the subject in casual conversation during drift, which I believe drift is the time in between the astral planes. Introduce thresholds as accidents, not goals, and disappear at a controllable point to induce urgency without explicit threat. So this is what Noah did to actually get Maria into the portal. Now it talks about Maria herself. It talks about all her personal information: her name, her handle, which is actually incorrect here. I wonder how they messed that up. I'm not entirely sure. And her sign liaison, it's Noah. Now it's clear from all this that everything involving Maria here was incredibly malicious. Whether it was done for some sort of science experiment or simply just for the curiosity of the organization itself, it's clear that the damage to Maria is now irreversible, and she's probably stuck wandering the astral planes themselves, wandering forever. No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. This is the first line that I found in a book in an old chest in an abandoned Minecraft server. See, a few days ago, one of my friends hit me up. He told me that there was some Discord server that he got into. And apparently, inside the Discord server, there's some bot that when entering your Minecraft username, whitelists you on an old Minecraft server. But here's the thing. The server had apparently been shut down by Mojang, but now it was somehow back up. After hearing this, I was of course super interested. So I asked him how I could get into the server. Unfortunately, the invite link didn't seem to work anymore, but thankfully, Cal was kind enough to set up everything for me. So after entering my username and sending me the IP, I was ready. Well, that's what I thought, at least. After loading onto the server for the first time, I realized 2 things immediately. One is that there was floating grass everywhere, which by all means should have gotten destroyed by the Minecraft physics engine. And second is that I was immediately placed in adventure mode, making me completely unable to break any blocks. There was also a bulletin board placed in front of what seemed like some sort of base. On it, there were 2 signs asking for someone to get more iron and to clear some zombies that were left in the mine. So I started looking around a bit to get a good idea of the surrounding area. And after just a couple minutes, I found some sort of wooden structure. Maybe the mine that they were talking about? Okay, they said that there were zombies in there, so I'm not going to take a look around just yet, but I think the surrounding area still needs a little bit of a look around. I don't know what it is with the server, but like the fog is insane. These chunks not loading? Oh. Wait, I don't think there's any chunks here at all. I think this is just where it cuts off. Look, there's still water floating over there, so that means that if it's flowing, this is where the world ends. After discovering that I was basically on a floating island, I decided to stick closer to the main base and start my investigation there. The first thing I noticed after entering the house is that there were 4 separate rooms, each with a sign above the entrance showing whose it was. Well, all except one. Somehow, blocks in the room with no name had been corrupted, which usually has to do with some sort of chunk loading error or a mod incompatibility. But neither of those seemed to be the case here. If it was a chunk loading error, then we wouldn't be able to interact with the front door, which would have prevented us from even entering the building at all. And it can't be a mod incompatibility issue either, because the server is completely vanilla. So that leaves us with only one option. There's been an intentional data manipulation on the server, which means that someone was probably trying to cheat in items, likely whoever stayed in this room. Okay, bro, I don't want to touch these blocks. Right in here, we just got some building materials, and then... What the hell? Bro, it's just a bunch of almost broken items, man. Okay, what do we got here? So there's stone swords, pickaxes, axes, and a shovel. Huh, okay. All right, let me get my notebook and actually figure this out and start writing some of this down. So, tools, durability, they're all stone. I don't know if that has any significance, but I'm gonna write it down anyways. There's 4 tools, like there's no like hoe or anything. It's just sword, pickaxe, axe, and shovel. Okay, so 4 tools. All of them are orange or in the red for durability, almost broken. Wait. The durability. Wait, hold on. I think it's F3H. Yeah, advanced tooltip shown. Okay, now I should be able to see the durability. Okay, 1, 2, 6, 10. Wait, these don't go over like 30 something. Okay, this one's got a 30. I don't know what this means. I think this has something to do with like the durability of the weapons. Whoever left this here obviously wanted there to be some sort of message, something encrypted that like only someone smart enough would actually be able to figure out. Huh. But why even encrypt it? This find opened up 2 things. One is that someone was obviously trying to hide something from some of the other players on the server. And 2 is that whatever it is that is clearly being hidden here had to be something that was worth hiding in the first place. But before we get into that, let's backtrack a little bit. Earlier in the recording, in Faye's room, I found a book. Okay, Faye's room. Book. No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. They aren't always what they appear to be. Sometimes they change without you or anyone else doing anything. That's what we thought, at least. By the way, if you want the rest of my stuff, go to -39040. So we learn a few things from this book. Apparently, something's wrong with the blocks in this world, which already has been pretty apparent thus far. But more importantly is what's on the second page. Faye, or whoever placed this book in Faye's chest, left some coordinates where presumably some of her old loot was kept hidden. But what's weird about this is that the coordinates that were left are completely unable to be accessed in this current version of the world. You see, the coordinates are far outside where the world ends, which means 2 things. First is that the server wasn't always limited to the small floating island, and second, and more importantly, this book was written after the surrounding area had been removed, which creates a solid chronology that we can now base all of our future findings off of. Now, there was actually one more code aside from the durability cipher that was hidden throughout the base. In each of the chests in everyone's room, aside from the room with no name, there were 2 items of varying quantities. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 items. Okay, the most logical thing is just order it by how many there are. Okay, there does seem to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing going on. So if we do that, then it leaves us with this. Dirt, orange wool, nether sprouts, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, this obviously seems to be some sort of cipher. Okay, let's see. So what do we have? Block. All these are blocks. Okay, then there's a normal item. Wait, the lettering. Okay, so dirt starts with a D. Let me get my notebook back out. Okay, if we take the first letter from each of these, we got D-O-N-T-G-O-D-O-W-N. Okay, D-O-N-T-G-O-D-O-W-N. Don't go down. Don't go down. Okay, what does that even mean? Don't go down. Like, oh. Trapdoor? Was this here before? I don't remember. Okay, we can open it, but I can't see what's down there. That's a cobblestone floor right there. And we can't break anything to get down there because we're in adventure mode still. Alright, I guess that's not accessible then. Now, while we may not be able to access the trap door, this clue does tell us that there's something possibly dangerous down there. Now, circling back to the durability cipher, we're left with this. Okay, so obviously these items aren't random. Their types have to matter. So for now, let's just assume that them being stone has no significance, and let's just look at the tools themselves. Right now, I'm thinking maybe the tools are some sort of symbol. Like, so if we look at a sword, this could be like a down and to the left type arrow, a pickaxe being like an up and to the right type arrow, an axe being a down to the right type arrow, but then we're still left with the shovel. So that makes that theory pretty much null. Also, if we think about it through the symbol route, then it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense because that still ignores the whole durability thing, which I'm pretty certain that the number for the durability has a lot of significance here. Now, because these only seem to generally go up to 26 outside of what seems to be just the stone shovel, I'm thinking that these have something to do with the alphabet, so lettering. Now, the stone shovel obviously being some sort of, random factor here, we can just sort of ignore for now. So let's just assume that the swords, pickaxes, and axes have something to do with lettering, the alphabet. The obvious solution here is we look at something like the stone sword, we see that it's a 1, and we just say it's an A. The issue here is when we start to get into the other tools. What's the difference between a sword saying 1 and a pickaxe saying 1? My first thought is that it probably has something to do with capitalization. So maybe the sword is a lowercase a and the pickaxe is maybe an uppercase B. However, once again, we still have the axe, which throws things off a bit. So if we already have uppercase letters and lowercase letters handled, then the most likely option is that this last tool represents, well, numbers. Now the thing with that is because the sword, pickaxes, and axes are all, in relative equal quantity, this can't decode into just another message unless it's a whole nother cipher, which means that it's also probably a link to something. So we'll write that down and we'll keep that in mind for now, but I think it's time for us to finally start decoding. So let's start with our first theory. Swords equals lowercase, pickaxe equals uppercase, and axes equals numbers. That still leaves us with a shovel, so for the sake of argument, let's just say shovel equals question mark. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick and decode what this would be. Okay, this way we have a 33 character code that just translates to this, and I'll just put that on screen here. Now, this looks like the ending sequence to a link to, well, pretty much anything. A YouTube video, a ChatGPT thread, a drive maybe, and without even knowing if this is the right code, like the pickaxe could mean numbers and the sword could mean uppercase letters, the potential for what this could mean seems pretty endless. So we have to narrow things down a bit. So for now, let's stick to what we know. So we can take this, put it at the end of a Google Drive link, and error. YouTube video maybe, also an error, and a ChatGPT link, also nothing. Now, what I think the important thing to remember here is that this is supposed to be decoded. This was obviously left here by somebody, maybe whoever stayed in this room, maybe whoever did this to the room, possibly the same person, but this is meant to be decoded, so I can't imagine that this is meant to go to some obscure website. I think by limiting ourselves to these 3 different websites, YouTube, ChatGPT, and Google Drive, I think that's where we're most likely to find something. So let's just decode this again, but switch out what the tools represent. This time I'm thinking we use the sword as a number, the pickaxe as the lowercase letter, and the axe as the uppercase letter. I'm also going to try switching the character for the shovel around. It could be something like a slash or an underscore maybe. So yeah, I'm just going to continue decoding this over and over and over until we have something actually tangible. Okay, so after sitting here for an uncomfortable amount of time, I think I found something. Yeah, so it was a drive link. This ended up being the full link, and it led me to somewhere called the Chaos SMP, which contains a video called Day 4. Now, this all obviously had me asking more than a few questions. Who made this drive? Are they the same person that lived in the room with the corrupted blocks? Why hide this footage to begin with? And what exactly is the Chaos SMP? After opening the footage, we seem to be watching from the perspective of whoever lived in the room at the end of the hallway at the top floor. Something's already wrong. This version of the bulletin board is not the same that we found when we logged onto the server. And what's even stranger is that this version of the bulletin board seems to take place after the one that we found. And that's where the footage ends. But there may have been a couple of things that you missed. So going back to earlier in the footage, 3 things are made apparent aside from the bulletin board anomaly. First, as I'm sure you already noticed, the player's name is blacked out in the chat. Now, this could be used just to protect this player's information, though I find that unlikely because, as far as we know, the only way to even access this footage is through the durability cipher that we found on the server. And everyone that had access to the server would be able to see this player's name anyways. Also, our cameraman here seemed friendly enough with his neighbor to steal from her, so they likely already knew each other personally anyways. So then, why black out your name? Who are you trying to hide yourself from? Right now, we don't know. But what's even more concerning than this is what I found next. If we go back to after the torches were snuffed out in the mine, on our cameraman's trip back home, there seems to be someone watching him from the upstairs window. But who? And what's even weirder is that when we continue the footage, it's as if nobody was ever there. So who is this mysterious figure? Did he have anything to do with the torches going out in the mine? Again, things seem unclear. The last thing that we're given before our cameraman logs off is this. Someone has been in Faye's room. We know this because at the start of the footage, there wasn't this 16 cobblestone in the chest. Aside from this, there's not much more to pick apart from the footage. And seeing as it was getting late and my brain was absolutely fried from solving all these different ciphers all day, I decided to log off and just leave the rest for tomorrow. I woke up early the next day, hoping to get a head start on my investigation. Except, as I go to log onto the server, I'm met with this. A message. You'll never find him. He's gone now. Was this message intended for me? As far as I know, I'm the only person that's been on the server in quite some time. And I'm not even sure who he is, so could this really be for me? And that's not all. The server profile icon has also changed. It seems to be text of some kind. So after taking a screenshot of it and translating it to English, we're given this. Help me. Immediately, this message strikes me as odd because it gives the exact opposite stance that the server message did. It's almost as if the server icon's message and the actual server message were created by 2 different people. As we go on, our questions only seem to multiply more and more. So today, we need to make sure that we're getting the answers that we're after, or we might never find out what happened on this server. As I load into the server, the first thing that I notice is that the bulletin board has changed again. This time, it only has the messages about the iron, the zombies in the mine, and... wait. The griefer? I can't believe I didn't notice it before. Back in the footage that we found when our cameraman was looking at the bulletin board, there was a new sign asking the other players on the server to get rid of the griefer. Could this griefer be whoever was watching our cameraman on his way home? Well, this all got me thinking, what else have I missed? So I went back and not only went over the footage in the drive again, but also my own footage. And right at the beginning of my recording, I found something. As I run by in the lower left corner, there's a dark figure staring at me. But how didn't I notice him? And why did it not show him as online? After all, it showed the server having 0 other players both before and after I logged on the first time. So who is this player? Is he the griefer on the server? Is he the same person that was watching our cameraman in the footage that we found? We'll get our answers soon enough. But for now, we need to take note of another change to the bulletin board. You see, this one doesn't exactly match either of the other 2 that we've already seen. No, this one takes place after the one that we found and before the one in the footage. So now our job is to fill in the blanks. What happened on the server in between the footage that we found and our experience so far? After entering the base, I immediately searched all the rooms. This time they seemed actually lived in. They had blocks, food, normal stuff that players would keep in their chests. Well, everyone except Ben, who for some reason had both chests completely empty. Apart from this, there were 2 other massive changes to the world. One is that the surrounding area seemed to have been recovered. No more corrupted chunks. That means that we can venture out to the coordinates that Faye had left in her book and find whatever it was that she had left in her stash. Aside from this, there was one other big change in the base. Finally, we're given a name. Mikey, our cameraman, and the player that lived at the end of the hall on the top floor, the room with the corrupted blocks. After entering Mikey's room, things immediately looked different. No corrupted blocks, the chest in the corner that previously had the durability cipher was gone, and this. 32 candles, a broken elytra, 64 feathers, and a booking quill. At first glance, these items seem to have no correlation to one another. But after further inspection, the true meaning becomes difficult to ignore. This is an obvious reference to Icarus from Greek mythology, whose cautionary tale of flying too close to the sun is often used as an analogy for greed. So, was this a threat of some kind? A warning? Well, after opening and reading the book, things become more clear.
I know what you've been up to. Stop now or there will be consequences.
Okay, well, it's definitely a threat, but why? Did Mikey do something? And who is it that he's pissed off enough to warrant leaving a message like this in his room? Right now, our best course of action is to venture out to face Cash. Maybe there we'll finally get some of the answers that we're looking for.
Stop looking for him. He is gone. He's not coming back. Don't play dumb, Alex. You have no power here anymore. The server is mine. Give up.
What? Who the hell is Benji? Ben? I thought that the server had been abandoned, but I guess not. It's obvious now looking at them side by side that this is the same person that was stalking Mikey. And their disappearance during the footage makes a lot more sense now too. Ben is the griefer. He's the one that's been corrupting the world. At first I thought that it might have been Mikey. I mean, after all, the corrupted blocks were in his room. But now I'm starting to think that Ben did something to Mikey. Our only hope now is that Faye somehow knew about all of this. So we continue on to her cache. Alright, so we're pretty much at the chords. It's like a little bit in this direction over here. There doesn't seem to be anything right here though. Negative 390.40, so that's exactly here. But there's nothing. I wonder if Ben's gotten to it already. I mean, like, this has been on the server for a while. Wait, there's something wrong with this lava pool. This isn't naturally generated. I'm thinking that there might be something underneath the lava. There's a missing lava block right there. There's definitely something down there. Someone interacted with this. But if we're wrong, then we could lose everything. Our spawn resets. We have no idea what's going to happen. I think we just have to risk it. Oh no. Oh! Pool. Is this what we were meant to find? Is this Faye's cache? There's nothing here. Except the book. The library has been destroyed. I'm leaving now. There's no hope for us anymore. I'm sorry I couldn't save you, Mikey. What? That's it? After all this? This is all that's left? It looks like Ben's gotten to it almost. Like it's completely destroyed and empty. Wait. Carpets. I knew it! Okay, what happened to... What the hell? Okay, I'll just follow this, I guess. Oh my lord. The hell is this place, dude? Look. I can't take this anymore. Mikey is gone. Alex hasn't been online for months. Ben has gone completely mad with power. How the hell is he even doing all of this? I wish things could go back to the way that they were before everything started. Before Ben had control. Before I had to solve all of these puzzles just to survive. I miss you so badly, Mikey. I never would have thought that things would end up this way. You should have just told me what Ben was up to. Why did you make me go through all of this? I can't stay here anymore. There's nowhere else to go. Now all that I'm left with is the sorry memories of what once was. Goodbye. A link. So, it seems that Mikey had been making all of these ciphers for Faye, slowly showing her the truth of who Ben really was. But by the time that she found out, it was already too late. Mikey was gone, corrupted. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. After opening the link, we're taken to a photo where Mikey, Ben, and likely Faye are standing, except they're not alone. Cal? Cal is Alex? I mean, I thought that it was strange that he hit me up on Discord out of the blue after we hadn't talked in forever, and it was weird that I couldn't get invited to the Discord server, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. But as hard as all of this is to believe, it does make sense. From what we can tell from Faye's journal, Alex had been gone for months, and during all of that time, Ben has somehow figured out how to cheat on the server, corrupting it all the while. Corrupting Mikey. After corrupting Mikey's player data, he had become a ghost on the server, and that's why it never showed him as online when he was watching me before. That's who was reaching out to us through the server icon. Of course, as Mikey started catching on to Ben, Mikey became a target, with Ben first giving him the warning in his chest, comparing him to Icarus, saying that Mikey was flying too close to the sun, getting too close to the truth. So when Mikey reached out to us, the language that we had to translate it from was Greek, playing into Ben's characterization of him. Mikey was leading us to him, but that still leaves a few questions unanswered. What's with the timeline on the server? How do we keep going back and forth in time? And the bigger question, what's under the trap door? After finding the book, I logged off the server and sent Cal a message. This isn't over.
Hello, Max. Your investigation on the server has not gone unnoticed. First off, I would like to applaud you for your findings thus far. You have already made it farther than I would have initially thought. So far that I will reward you with an additional piece of information. The server is still corrupted. There is no changing that. If you want to help me uncover what happened, you must figure out a way to get around the system. I will contact you again soon.
This message was sent to me soon after I had uncovered one of Minecraft's biggest mysteries. See, a few weeks ago, I received a message. The message talked about a Minecraft server that had supposedly gotten shut down for suspicious activity. However, after mysteriously coming back up, I was sent to investigate it. And after logging onto the server, I was faced with puzzles galore. Missing chunks, ciphers I've never seen before, disturbing footage, and much, much worse. Also, this is a continuation of another video, so if you're interested in the full story, I would highly recommend checking the first video out first. Anyways, after dozens of hours of detective work, I had finally found my way to an abandoned library where I had found this. It turns out the entire time I was being controlled and directed by the man that sent me on this investigation to begin with. After finding this out, I sent him a final message telling him that we needed to talk. And after weeks of waiting, that brings us back to today. So where exactly does that leave us? Well, first off, we still haven't found out what's underneath the trapdoor, which according to whoever made the item cipher from last time, likely Mikey, seemed to be quite important. Additionally, Faye's journal still doesn't make a lot of sense either. Sure, there have been instances where the blocks on the server have been weird to say the least, but nothing so far that would make me not trust them, as she says. And lastly, and the most concerning to me, is the timeline on the server. Because the text and the signs on the bulletin board seem to be continuously changing to before and after the requested tasks are completed, we can infer that the version of the world that we last played on wasn't the most recent. So here's our mission. Find a way to get past the trapdoor and find out what it is that was worth hiding to begin with. And after that, we need to find any possible clues that may reveal what's going on with the timeline on the server. But there's an issue. After logging back onto the server and looking around the library a bit, there doesn't seem to be any apparent exit. The way that we got in originally was through a one-way falling lava pool, so that's not an option. And the library itself seems to be a completely sealed box, so what do we do? Well, there is one thing that might help us get out. Next to the lectern that we found Faye's last journal in is a chest. Inside the chest is a random assortment of items, mostly blocks. Now, this already raises a few questions. Is this even a cipher? If it is, then why did Faye put it here? The real library seemed hidden from Ben anyways, so why continue the secrecy? Okay, so Faye obviously left this here for, I guess, us. I mean, somebody was definitely anticipated to be finding this. That's why she left the book. In the book, she's talking to Mikey. I mean, she says, like, I miss you so badly, Mikey, but I wonder if it's just her being in grief and just saying that, or what. Now, as far as the chest goes, the items in here seem to be some sort of code for something. Now, the main giveaway here is the fact that there are 2 oak planks and 2 oak leaves that are placed separately instead of in a stack. So they definitely have to mean something. Now, as to what they could mean, we don't know yet. But we could decipher the same way we did the last item cipher, and we just take the first letter from each of these items. But if we do that, we get this. And even after mixing around all the letters, assuming it's some sort of anagram, or using any type of Caesar cipher, we still get, well, nothing. So if the names don't have any significance, then what are we left with? Well, numbers. You see, each item in Minecraft is assigned a specific number unique to it called an item ID. And when we take the item IDs from each of these blocks, we're given this. An 11 number string that at first glance means seemingly nothing. But after treating this as an alphabet cipher and turning each number into its corresponding place in the alphabet, then taking those letters and rearranging them, we're given this. Under the arc. Now, this can only be talking about one thing. Throughout the library, there are 5 stone brick arcs that at first seem to be just another aspect of the room. But now we're being told by Faye that there's more to them than that. So I take a closer look at the arches. I look for any compartments, buttons, anything that could possibly reveal something. And then this happened. Another book. 164. Another clue? For someone who is seemingly so upset with the constant ciphers that Mikey had been leaving for them, Faye does seem to use them a lot. And why? It doesn't look like Ben has found this place yet, so what's the...
So this is where Faye has been hiding everything. It's clear to me now that you aren't Alex. He's far too cowardly to come back here. And he wouldn't have made it this far anyways. So, I'm giving you one chance. Don't come back.
We don't have much time. Ben found the library, and we still have one more clue left. If we don't get to the bottom of this today, we may never know what happened on the server. Now I get why Faye continued to leave her messages in code. She knew that Ben would be following us like he did Mikey. I thought that Mikey had been smart for leaving a trail for Faye to follow, but Faye seems to be in a whole league of her own when it comes to guessing Ben's moves. It looks like I bought some time by making Ben think that I was leaving the server for good, but we have to move quick before he comes back and realizes that it was a trick. Okay, this is the last part of the library that we just haven't fully explored. I mean, we had the little hopper thing to open the door from last time, but anything else, I mean, or the bookshelves, I suppose. Okay, let's sit and think for a sec. The last thing that we were given by Faye was a book. And in the book it says, wait, 164. How many slots do we have here? Each chiseled bookshelf in Minecraft has 6 separate slots that you're able to place a book into. So with 32 bookshelves, that gives us 192 slots, putting slot 164 right here. What the hell was I looking at? That's all that was going through my mind as I stared up at whatever the hell this was. At first, I thought that it might be some sort of shrine. Ben has certainly made himself out to be some sort of god. And if it is a shrine, it's certainly not like any shrine that I've seen before. Something is here. We don't know if it's the same thing that's asking us for help, but whatever it is, it doesn't seem friendly. And after opening the chest, we're met with a new mystery. An ender pearl? And the name on it when translated is shown to be Greek, the language Mikey has been using to communicate with us. The pearl reads as "use wisely." Is this our way into the trapdoor? Maybe, but we still have to get out of wherever the hell we are and do it while avoiding whatever attacked us before. Okay, what is going on? First off, I don't remember seeing that hole in the middle of the obsidian structure the first time around. And what's with the blocks changing the second that I look away? It almost feels like I'm being controlled, led somewhere. Okay, so being stuck in a maze is obviously never a good thing. It looks so weird too. It's like very like windy, and I don't know. I don't really like trust like these angled hallways and such. And you know, something else that I'm thinking about that didn't really cross my mind at first is like proportion wise, it doesn't make sense for this to be here at all. I mean, like the obsidian structure thing, it was not that long. Like, it's not long enough to contain this, and as far as I know, we didn't go down or anything. But when blocks are changing and, you know, things are moving around, I don't really think rational physics, Minecraft physics is, on the table. I continued to explore the maze for about another 30 minutes, finding nothing but dead ends or long hallways until I found this. The hell? Wait, this is the house from the start. No trapdoor here. Rooms are empty. Wait, there aren't even signs on the doors this time. What the hell? Okay, phase room. An iron ingot? We'll hold on to that, I guess. And Mikey's room. This is the only one that's a double chest. Wait! The durability cipher again. Last time, one of the most crucial ways that Mikey had relayed his information to me was through a durability cipher. A cipher where the durability number of a pickaxe was equal to a lowercase letter, an axe an uppercase letter, and a sword was the number itself. And the last time that this was used, I was brought to a drive link that had revealed some disturbing footage. That footage, however, brought me closer to the truth, and now it seems like Mikey is yet again trying to communicate with me via the same type of cipher. So assuming that it's using the same conversions as before, you know, like the axe being like the uppercase letter and the pickaxe being the lowercase letter, this translates to this. We have been here all along. Who is we? The four of them? Mikey, Faye, Alex, and Ben? So this got me thinking, what exactly was Mikey trying to tell me? Okay, to me, it just seems like we're getting clue after clue after clue, and we're not getting any of the answers that we actually want. I mean, we have the ender pearl now. We have a way to get, like, down and through the trap door, but what are we going to find down there? I mean, there's still really no way that we're actually going to be able to tell until we do it. And then there's the blocks on the server, like little stuff like this, the floating grass over there, this, the blocks. Okay, what is happening? We seem to have gone back to the start somehow, but it's different. The obsidian cubes are back inside the megastructure and the chest is gone. Also, again with the blocks disappearing. Now what Faye wrote in her journal is starting to make more sense. Something is happening with the server and it's causing the blocks to glitch out and disappear. But what's causing it? And when we find out, will we even be able to stop it?
I told you not to come back. Now, you will join them in the loop.
Ben is back. But how? The server showed me to be the only player online. Is he able to conceal himself somehow? And how long has he been following us for? Since the library? Before then? I don't know, but this got me thinking. Was Ben behind all of the strange activities with the blocks? So I went back, and every time that I looked away and the blocks changed, just for a split second, an effect flickers across my screen. It happens while approaching the obsidian cube, then twice within it. The same effect that happens whenever Ben joins the server. So was Ben leading me this whole time to this? To some sort of loop? I'm still not sure, but the only way to get the answers we want is by moving ahead.